Many times during the icy winter of 1845 to 1846, James Reed and George Donner met to talk about their soon-to-be voyage. The name of their traveling group is the Donner Party because of their leader, George Donner. They currently live in Springfield, Illinois, but they want to move to California. They are on a hunt for gold and warmth instead of their current cold, boring life. They were planning to embark on their journey, but they didn't expect to have false information.
James, if we're going to leave, we have to go now.
I know it's getting late in the year and winter will be coming soon, but I just don't know, what to do. This journal just doesn't seem accurate. We don't even know if Hastings has traversed the shortcut himself.
We won't make it in time if we don't go now. And even if we make it on the trail within the month, we could still be in trouble. We need this shortcut.
Fine, let's try to leave now. We're low on time, so I suppose we can risk it.
Ideally, George and James want to make it to California before winter comes. That way, they don't have to go through a possible snowstorm. The problem is they don't know whether or not to trust this entry they found in a journal written by Lansford Hastings. They don't trust it 100%, but they have decided they have to either wait another year or go now. They've decided to go now.
Let's get on the trail.
And the journey begins.
The next stop was Fort Bridger, a typical stop for any immigrant traveling west.
We made it.
At this rate, we'll make it to California in no time.
We may not even need to use Hastings' shortcut, but honestly, what's the worst that could happen if we take it?
Let's just not think about that and instead focus on the journey ahead of us. It will be a tough one after all.
Definitely.
This journey will be tougher than they could ever imagine. Their next stop is Weber Canyon. Lansford Hastings was currently leading a wagon group through the alleged shortcut. He had promised to leave markers along the path for the Donner Party to follow. When they found the beginning of the shortcut at the trail, they found a note. The note informed them that the shortcut was much rougher than expected, so they should camp and wait for him to come back and show them an easier route. They waited for over a week.
We need to find an easier route, and Hastings hasn't come yet. We should send a messenger into the canyon to find out what path we should take.
Fine, send a messenger. If he doesn't find Hastings, we go down this path. We can't afford any more wasted days.
You got it.
A few days later, the messenger came back, and they were informed of new information about the shortcut.
Alright, the messenger just got back. He told me that Hastings said to go down a different route, which he's dubbed the Hastings Cutoff.
Are you sure that you want to go that way? We have no idea what's on that route. It could be worse than this canyon.
We've already wasted too much time. We have to go now.
Fine, we'll use the Hastings Cutoff. This better work.
This was the most logical decision at the time. They had already waited more than a week for Hastings. Little did they know that this shortcut would lead to catastrophe.
We made it to the cutoff.
Well, let's go.
What is with this terrain? It's not like any of the other trails. It's so rough.
I think we made a mistake.
The terrain in the Hastings Cutoff ended up to be rougher than the canyon. The Donner Party had to carve an entire path for their wagons, cutting trees and clearing brush for an entire 18 days. Luckily, they were able to get on the normal trail, but the time they wasted had been too much. They had to hurry.
We need to keep moving. If we stop at all, we won't make it before winter.
I know that we're way behind, and it doesn't really help that we left late.
Let's just be quiet and go.
All right.
They were getting close. They were just a few days through to California. They could even see the Sierra Nevadas from where they were.
Look, the Sierra Nevada. Crack.
That can't be good. Oh no.
What is it?
Our axle is broken.
We'll have to camp for the night so that we can fix it.
Yeah, seems like the right move.
It was not the right move. That night, while the Donner Party slept, winter came early. There were 6 feet of snow on the ground. They were trapped for the winter.
Oh no. George! George, wake up!
What is it?
Look outside.
Why,
Just look.
Oh, God, snow. There's so much snow.
It's all over. We are so close. How is there this much snow? It's only October.
Did we get the timing wrong?
No, I've kept track in my journal. There's no way.
We should have listened to Kleiman. He warned us that Hastings was untrustworthy, and we just ignored him.
I hate winter.
James, we'll really have to save our food now.
What do you mean?
I mean, everyone only gets one meal a day. If we don't save our food, we're going to starve to death.
Okay.
Let's just hope that that'll be enough.
That was not enough. In just 2 weeks, they're completely out of food. They have been forced to eat bark, leaves, and bones. They can get water by ingesting the snow, but the people need real food. That's when George came up with an idea.
James.
Yeah?
Well, you know how we haven't eaten food in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Or 2 days? I know that this will sound a little morbid, but maybe we could try eating the dead.
No, we keep doing what we're doing. When people die, we bury them.
I'm tired of burnt twigs and bones. They aren't doing anything but hurting my mouth anyway. Maybe if we eat some of the dead, we can live.
Fine, but wait till they die. Don't kill anyone. We'll eat the dead people's flesh and bury their bones. Will that work?
Yeah. It's terrible that this is what it's come to. This is all Hastings' fault.
No, George, it wasn't Hastings' fault. It was yours. You didn't have to listen to Hastings. We could have just taken the safe route and listened to Kleiman. But you couldn't handle a couple more days of travel, and we needed to use the stupid shortcut.
I just wanted what was best for us.
Yes, I know. But you didn't take this godforsaken trail seriously enough. We are going to die out here, and it's all your fault.
It only makes sense to cut off time. How was I supposed to know that this would happen?
You should have expected the worst, but you didn't. Now we have to buy time and hope to God we don't freeze to death. But you know what? I hope you're the first one to die.
At this point, James and the rest of the folks have had it with George's shenanigans. They always bad things upon him, but they didn't act. They knew that it was wrong to kill him, especially at a time like this. Then one night, they got their wish. George Donner froze to death. All the people had mixed emotions, but one emotion stood out from the rest. They were hungry. This cruel act was repeated with many more pioneers. His gruesome suggestions were acted upon his own corpse. 45 of the original 83 pioneers survived and lived peacefully in California. This party truly changed history on the trail. It really showed how careful one must be when receiving traveling information and how important it is to send help as soon as you can.